Good morning from UNITAR New York office. I wanted to welcome today to the SDG Learning, Training and Practice Center 2021. This is an event that traditionally kick off with the inauguration also of the high-level political forum. The Learning Center is on its 6th anniversary today, and we are very pleased because we had an amount of participants. To all of them, I really welcome on behalf of UNITAR and the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. We have a very hectic morning today. We will have two events. One is the launching of the Sustainability Network for Universities in Latin America and the Caribbean. And later on, we're going to launch an e-learning course on synergies between climate change and sustainable development. We are very pleased to have with us a distinguished professor, directors, deans of universities from Latin America and the Caribbean, the Assistant Secretary General, Mr. Nikhil Seth, Executive Director of UNITAR from Geneva, and AJ Espatolizano, scusi, which is joining us from the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs. Both of them are partners directing our work here in New York. We have also the team for the United Nations Department of Economic and Social Affairs, Ms. Lotta Tianin and Neara Costa. And we will be hosting this event today. In order to frame the conversation and to kick off the Learning Center, I will yield first the work to ASG Espatolizano and then to Executive Director Nikhil Seth for indicating us the path that UNITAR is taking on the post-COVID 2019. The situation in New York has improved tremendously, and the United Nations is moving in a very in presence meetings with all cautions and protecting everyone's safety and security. I wish that all our countries in Latin America and the Caribbean are facing difficulties, but I know that the academia and the looking for a better future for our people is still going on. The Learning Center is a center that tries to put together not only academia, but also practitioners, UN agencies, non-governmental organizations to share the best practices to enhance the daily life and to implement the Agenda 2030, which is the ultimate goal, combating poverty, eradicating poverty, egalitarian societies, sustainable development, curbing the impact of climate change, and all the 17 goals that head of state and government adopted in 2015 September has a landmark for a better humanity in planet Earth. So with these little words, I welcome all of you. Special thanks to our panelists, to the team that make this possible. And I will invite now the ASG Espatolizano to give us an opening remarks, and will be followed by Mr. Nikhil Seth. Marenja?
Thank you, Marco. It's a pleasure to be here. Distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, joining you at the opening session of this year's edition of the SDG Learning, Training and Practice, which is held virtually in connection with the 2021 UN High-Level Political Forum on Sustainable Development. I would like, first of all, to thank our colleagues from the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, UNITAR, for their continued close partnership and collaboration in making the SDG Learning, Training and Practice happen again this year, including by hosting the virtual session online. Let me also recognize the efforts and express our appreciation to all universities and organizations that will be sharing their in-depth knowledge and experiences with government representatives and stakeholders from all over the world throughout this week. We cannot make the 2030 agenda reality without learning from each other, sharing lessons, and co-designing solutions together. We thank you all for contributing to this process. Ladies and gentlemen, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has set the world's progress towards the Sustainable Development Goals at grave risks, as it has undermined years of development efforts. As we seek to recover and rebuild our societies better, our efforts should be guided by three strategic priorities. One, ensuring equitable access to vaccines and treatment. Two, strengthening the financial position of developing countries. And three, ensuring that our recovery efforts are rooted within and guided by the 2030 Agenda. Education has suffered during the pandemic, but providing quality education as a universally accessible and essential service for all is at the heart of the 2030 Agenda. Let me share some figures with you. 1 year into the COVID-19 crisis, 2 in 3 students worldwide are still affected by full or partial school closures. And UNESCO has estimated that over 100 million children will fall below medium proficiency level in reading as a result. So the impact of the COVID pandemic on schooling could be truly a generational catastrophe if we do not take action. To face the massive and widespread challenges and to achieve the broad commitment of the 2030 Agenda, more than ever, we need to invest in education, learning, and knowledge. Ladies and gentlemen, governments and stakeholders around the world have been spearheading strong responses and action in support to the SDGs since their adoption. To shine the spotlight on innovation and efforts that are delivering results and to inspire others to take action, DESA has been collecting SDG-related good practices and initiatives and making them available in a searchable online database. 2 examples. The government of Spain has launched the Escudo Social, or Social Shield, which is a multidimensional approach to fight the COVID-19 pandemic and its impacts on housing, employment, and gender violence, especially for vulnerable populations. It is estimated that these initiatives have resulted in the prevention of evictions, layoffs, and company closures for over 4 million people and 500,000 companies. Another example, in Nigeria, the NGO African Clean Initiative is leading the Recycles Pay educational project with the goal of paying the tuition fees of over 10,000 vulnerable students by the year 2030. Throughout this program, parents have the opportunity to pay school fees using plastic bottles and other recyclable materials, supporting their children to remain in school and identifying new ways to prevent plastic waste. In 2 years, the project has supported over 2,000 school children in 50 schools. More than 1 million bottles and cans were recovered and recycled. And these are just a few of the many other inspiring examples that we have collected. As we move ahead on the decade of action on the SDGs, we all need to speed up our ambition. I want to take this opportunity to urge you all to step up and share information about your SDG acceleration actions with others through the global online platform set up by UNDESA. By accelerating action on SDGs implementation, we can avert the worst outcomes of the pandemic and ensure a fairer, more sustainable world for everyone. I'm confident that you will all be inspired by this year's SDG learning, training, and practice sessions, and will leave this week with renewed energy and new knowledge and insights. I wish you a very fruitful HLPF 2021. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Assistant Secretary General for Policy Coordination and Interagency Affairs of the United Nations Department of Economic Affairs. thank you very much for supporting through your team, the United Nations Training and Research Institute, in particular my office here in New York. We take due note of the impact of education, and that's why we are so pleased that we devoted this event to launching a network on curricula and sustainability within the framework of Latin America and the Caribbean. Now it's a real pleasure to welcome the Assistant Secretary General and Executive Director of UNITAR, Mr. Nikhil Seth, that has been at the spearheading for almost 2 decades. Forgive me, Nikhil, to disclose some information in the sustainable development arena. Mr. Seth not only is director in UNITAR, but has been also director of sustainable development, the support branch of ECOSOC in the United Nations, and also one of the heads who coordinated and planned Rio +20 on sustainable development. So, Mr. Seth, it's a pleasure to see you, and I yield the floor to you.
Thank you, Marco. A small technical correction. It's almost been 3 decades and not 2 that I've been engaged in some of these issues. But let me start, of course, by thanking Francesca, by thanking Lotta, by thanking Naira, by thanking my own colleagues in UNITAR, starting with you, Marco, and Paula, and Pelayo, and everyone else who make this space possible. I've been looking at my screen and I see that there are people from almost 70, 80 countries who have joined us today, which is a remarkable outreach. And that's something to say for democratization of learning using Zoom and these other platforms. So congratulations on all that, and for organizing the 6th edition of the SDG Learning, Training and Practice Center. It's a great space, and I think it'll provide us all an opportunity to learn from each other and to see how the highest level apex body in many of these issues, the high level political forum, is thinking through some of these issues and what is it that we really need to learn about many of these issues. Of course, this Learning Center today reflects the deep partnership that we have with UNDESA, and especially the Division for Sustainable Development Goals. And it's really good that we are being able to communicate from that part of the UN, which focuses a lot on analysis and who understand these things with a lot of domain knowledge on this subject, with people like us who pride ourselves as experts on the learning and the methodology and pedagogy related to learning. And I'm so happy to see so many academics and professors and rectors and presidents of universities. They are the experts in disseminating knowledge, especially to younger generations, and to see them all on screen, listening attentively to what has to be communicated from essentially a political forum in New York to what they need to carry forward in academic institutions is very encouraging and heartening. You know, when we adopted the SDGs now in September 2015, it's almost 6 years, I've never imagined that the SDGs would fire up the people's imaginations the way it has. And it has caught the imagination of people in all parts of society. I deal a lot with university networks, and every university tells me how the SDGs inspire students, where these multi-sectoral approaches, being able to break the silos of disciplines, enables them to work together to find solutions in research, to find solutions in learning, to find solutions through multi-disciplinary training for the problems of our contemporary world. And our problems are really huge. Each time you look at the hammering the SDGs have got, for example, from COVID-19, which Francesca talked about, you wonder, how is the world going to get out of the place we find ourselves? And how can we promise a better tomorrow to our children and grandchildren? But this is the way to go. We are on track. We learn to learn together. We learn to act together. And that's the basic thrust of what we are doing. This particular training session, the 6th edition, will go on from the 6th to the 12th of July with a series of what we call capacity building and knowledge learning sessions held in the wings of the high-level political forum, featuring speakers and experts from many sectors on crucial topics related to the implementation of the SDGs under review in 2021. Some of you know that, but you know, the SDGs are reviewed in clusters. They are often not reviewed together, but they are reviewed in clusters. And this year, the special focus is going to be on ending poverty, on ending hunger, the SDGs that correspond to these topics to ensure health for all, to promote sustainable growth, to reduce inequality, to ensure sustainable consumption and production, to combat climate change, especially important as we lead up to COP26, which is going to be held in Glasgow in November, and to promote peaceful, just, and inclusive societies, which is really the cornerstone of achieving all the SDGs. In societies where there is no peace, there is no justice, it's very difficult to imagine action on anything else that we are talking today on the SDGs. And of course, the need to strengthen partnership and strengthen the means of implementation. And our efforts through these learning sessions is also to forge greater partnerships. And today, we are making a special effort in forging these partnerships with academia and universities and university presidents. So I really welcome this particular opportunity. These will give you all you wonderful participants. I see now there are 335 participants on my screen, and they are joined from all the continents in the world, give you an opportunity to network, to promote practical policy integration and coherence practices. And you will find many, many benefits of the Learning Center in addition to the 2021 HLPF. You know, while we sometimes tend to treat the SDGs and the ones I mentioned, which are the cluster that are being reviewed this year, as discrete goals and targets, that is a mistake. These are not discrete goals and targets. These are an interrelated matrix of goals and targets with the human being at the center, and acting on one benefits several other SDG goals and targets. My favorite example here is on gender equality, and promoting gender equality and advancement promotes the goals on poverty, on health, on hunger, on sustainable agriculture, on water, or energy. Almost all the SDGs are linked in a way to the promotion of gender equality and empowerment. So please, when you look at the SDGs and targets, don't see them as separate goals, separate targets. They're all part of one integrated whole. And what we hope to do is through our work, through our research in universities, is to influence policymakers to make intelligent decisions. They need to see that gender equality is not only good for its own sake, for the injustices gender inequality creates, but it actually promotes everything else. So what is the actions policymakers need to make on promoting gender equality when it comes to things like budgetary allocations, national policy? That's how I would love to see. That was the lesson that we wanted to convey when we developed the SDGs. And I hope that integrated vision of the SDGs is something that remains in all your minds. And that is the only important message I want to leave for you. Today, we are also going to be looking at the University Network for Sustainable Development. And we will be launching a University Network for Sustainable Development, which is also a platform for learning, exchanging, and partnering to the SDG learners and leaders of tomorrow. These SDGs are a blueprint for a better world, and pursuing the SDGs, the common global effort, universities are at the heart of this attainment. If the universities, academia don't engage in finding these multidisciplinary solutions to our contemporary problems, in firing the imagination of young people and the future leaders of our world, we are not going to get where we need to get. And that's one thing which gives me great hope when I see all you wonderful professors and rectors and university presidents here, that you are part and willing to push your universities, your curricula, the way you approach education, the way you approach multidisciplinary learning. It really gives me hope that yes, we are going to educate a future generation of people who will, in a sense, make up for what our generation did not achieve. We keep thinking that our generation will somehow be different, but I think our generation has not led to the change we have wanted to see in the world. And we have great hope in all of you and the people you can enthuse to bring about these changes. The university network that we are going to establish today aims to build strong collaboration amongst academia in Latin America and the Caribbean. I'm familiar with that region and I know how committed academia is in that region. Excellent research is done in that region. Excellent, practical solutions are found. But I think one of the problems in that region, as is in other regions, is from academia to permeate the minds of policymakers. Policymakers continue to do the things they've been doing with the burden of politics and the burden of history. They don't see the change the way in which academia wants them to see that change. So bringing in that science, academia, policy interface is the biggest challenge. And I hope the network helps in bridging that particular challenge. With the significant work that's being done in all your universities, with the significant number of projects that you have, we offer several opportunities to share your inspiring results and impacts. The network will allow universities to be informed about what other universities are doing. There's no point for each university to reinvent the wheel. If you can share your success stories with other universities, how you managed to bridge these gaps that I mentioned, it'll make it so much easier for other universities to piggyback on your lessons learned and your success. I want to especially thank the UNITAR office in New York, Marco and Pelayo and everyone else, as Paula de Blas and Zhengyi Wang, who have been instrumental in growing this network. So I leave you with these thoughts, and I also want to inform and remind all the participants that you will enjoy the week-long learning center, and we thank you for your commitment to the 2030 agenda. And we, as Marco had mentioned, we will reconvene again today at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time for the launch of the Harnessing Climate and SDG Synergies, which is an extremely important issue, which I hope you will tune into, which we are doing once again in close partnership with UNDESA. And we are hoping the Undersecretary General, Ambassador Liu, will also participate, as we hope the Deputy Executive Secretary of the UNFCCC. It's a long acronym. The UN is comfortable with all these long acronyms, but that's the Framework Convention on Climate Change, which is based in Bonn. I hope you plug in to see how the SDGs are so closely intertwined with the climate change agenda. With that, I return the floor to Marco Suazo and wish you a wonderful week of learning.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sepp, and thank you on a personal basis for making my work easier. I wanted to make some comments about the network myself, but you actually cover more or less all the bases with your expose. And I take with me one of your phrases that you said, that SDG learners today and SDG leaders of tomorrow. And I take it that this is what the academia, the universities does, actually prepare the young generations to be ready for tomorrow. Sharing the research, analysis, and curricula of the universities is the main scope of the network. And we're trying to make it a very pragmatic approach to it. As you said rightly, sometimes we spend time and we're trying to find the new, and we ended reinventing the wheel. And the wheel is just been invented. It's just a matter to make it turn in the right direction. So thank you very much for those comments, and also for inspiring the conversations today. So we inspired in the office by a very basic concept that was developed by Paula, Chengi, and Camila, and other student that graduated from the Instituto de Empresas in Madrid in a capstone project. And I saw the value of putting together this initiative in a very pragmatic way, knowing that there is so many conglomerate of universities that became so vast and so big that became think tanks, and they met one or twice and they deliberated, and it ended like that. The network is a more pragmatic approach. It's smaller, and all the universities that were invited, the ones that are part of it, the 16 that are part of it, they committed themselves to be part of it. And so the network will allow them to we have basically a forum for faculty members, a forum for students member in the network. UNITAR will put his own contribution. All the stackable education that we have in a small trainings and small workshop or seminars or master program are available to the universities, to the faculty and to the students. The faculties will be able also to put there all the curricula related to sustainability, sustainable development goals, target goals, or target education. And the students will be able to see through this network, through their own forum, all these materials. We hope that that will enhance the possibility for students to connect among each other from different countries and to see the opportunities. Sometimes our universities that have certain degrees or programs that they are not available in other universities. This is what you rightly call the democratization of education. So expanding opportunities not only for the faculty members of the university, but also for the students in this particular area of sustainable development. It's not a perfect tool. We'll continue to work on it, and we will rely basically in the advice, support, and guidance from the universities themselves and for the students themselves. So this is the main scope of this network. Be a little more pragmatic. And sometimes the globalizations, we think the globalization is good, and it's good. But sometimes we keep it in the regional context. There are cultural things, there are language things that we have to take into consideration. There are also geographical distance that we have to take into consideration. And that makes this cluster of universities in Latin America and the Caribbean very prone to grow and to really take advantage of it. UNITAR also provided the network, the university participating in the network, a window of the United Nations for the students, the possibility to students to join or to see what the United Nations offered in terms of reporting, documentation, discussions, and things like that. So how many students are in their own countries? I never left the city where they studied because they are, there, and then they have difficulties to do so. We're trying to expand through the network these possibilities for them. So I will stop that. This is a few comments that I wanted to make about the network, and I really thank all the deans, professors, and the directors that are with us today from the universities, because you are the engine. The network is self-sustained. It will feed from your input, from your interaction within. So we will just being able to support it. It's embedded in the UNITAR webpage, and particularly your office webpage within UNITAR. And we will continue to keep in touch with you and to support you. Now we are going to listen to some of the distinguished deans, professors, and presidents of universities that join us. We will start for Professor Jose Antonio de Almeida Meirelles. I hope I pronounced well your name, Professor, from the rector of the University of Campinas. Professor, I yield to you.
Thank you, dear Mr. Marco Suazo. It's Antonio José, not José Antonio. It's the opposite.
I'm sorry.
Dear Mr. Marco, head of UNITAR's office at the United Nations in New York. Dear Mr. Nikhil Seth, Assistant Secretary General UNITAR, and Ms. Ispatou Lizano, Assistant Secretary General of UNDESA, distinguished authorities and speakers, Dr. Silvia Restrepo, Dr. Lillian Ferrer, Professor Clement Sankat, Dr. Ismael Peña, Dr. David Smith, Ms. Paula de Blas, and Ms. Zhenk Wang. Distinguished audience, ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honored and grateful for the opportunity to address you as we celebrate the launch of the University Network for Sustainable Development. As you all know, universities play a crucial role in leading the world to a better future, a future in which our planet is healthy, wildlife species thrive, and people are respectful to each other and live a decent life. At the University of Campinas, UNICAMP, we are committed to incorporating all the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals in everything that we do, from our administrative work, operations, to our academic activities. We have just approved a brand new territorial master plan, for instance, whose targets are fully aligned with the SDGs. Among the many projects related to the plan, I would like to highlight one that aims to increase UNICAMP's use of renewable energy through the construction of small photovoltaic power stations throughout our main campus. We currently have 6 operational plants, which also serve as living laboratories for learning and research purposes. Another project that is worth mentioning is a joint initiative involving a total of 14 public and private partners, companies, universities, research institutions, and both our local and state governments in the establishment of an international hub for sustainable development in the city of Campinas. The main goal of this ambitious project is to create a model district where we can bring national and international players together in an effort to educate future leaders, create knowledge, and develop innovative technologies that will contribute to reducing water consumption, mitigating greenhouse gas emissions, and preserving the environment, just to mention a few examples. We expect that our joining the network will allow us to improve the educational component of this and other major sustainable related projects that have already been or are about to be implemented at our university. We look forward to learning from the experience of other prestigious institutions in Latin America, as much as we are eager to share our knowledge and collaborate with both UNITAR and the network members on themes of pivotal importance to the achievement of the SDGs. On behalf of the University of Campinas, I would like to compliment UNITAR on the building of such a relevant and well-coordinated platform. We are most pleased to participate in this initiative, which will certainly be very fruitful and successful. Thank you for your attention. I return the word to Mr. Marco Suazo.
Thank you very much, Professor Antonio Jose. And we are very, not honored, very pleased to have the University of Campinas with us. And be sure that we're going to follow through and that we will be always there to support the university. And I hope that the network is fruitful to your students, which is the ultimate goal of the network, to benefit the younger generations. Now I'm going to yield the floor to the Doctora Silvia Restrepo, Vicerrectora de Investigaciones and Creation of the University of Los Andes. Professor Restrepo, please, welcome.
Yes, hello, I hope you hear me well.
Very well.
Okay, thank you very much for this invitation, Dr. Marco Suazo and Mr. Nikhil Seth and Ms. Marie Lizano, and our dear keynote speakers. The honor to know some of them: Antonio Jose, Lillian Clement, Ismael, and David. In the network, Universidad de los Andes is engaged with the 2030 Agenda and the SDGs. In 2018, we launched the SDG Center for Latin America and the Caribbean in collaboration with the Network of Solutions for the Sustainable Development, SDSN. The objective of this center is to become the meeting point, the think tank around the SDGs in partnerships with highly recognized universities, the private sector, and civil society organizations in Colombia and some countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. At Universidad de los Andes, we feel completely identified with the spirit and the objectives proposed by the University Network for Sustainable Development. We are very honored to join this initiative to continue, complement, and strengthen the work that we have been developing to integrate the vision of sustainable development in all our activities. The University Network is a great opportunity to share the progress that we have had all these years in the center to work on the SDGs. In particular, we would like to offer to the network the open courses already available in Coursera that have more than 20,000 registrations. Also, we have developed some local and regional research projects and a data observatory on the SDGs that can be a reference for the work of the partners that belong to this network. I would like to insist in this. The collaboration is the key to find a solution to the difficult times we are facing. In a recent publication from Foreign Affairs, I read that the only way to win the battle against the virus, and I'm convinced of that, is an international and collaboration. In this sense, to work on the SDGs, only the collaboration will show us the way, and we, the universities, we produce knowledge, and therefore we should be the first to show the way to cooperation, to establish the communication with multiple communities. The University Network is a unique opportunity to know experiences from other universities that are also working on the SDGs. We want to learn from these experiences and good practices and generate initiatives to collaborate. Universidad de los Andes recently renewed its engagement with the sustainable development in our recent development plan that was launched the past week. In this document, the university is committed to enlarge its research, teaching activities, and to widen our alliances around the world. This network is therefore an important step in this horizon because we are connected with excellent universities and other stakeholders, and the result will not be only the sum of the parts. The impact of this collaboration will not only be in our institutions, but on the communities we communicate with. Our commitment is to be active participants of this network, to impulse the creation of common work agendas. We are convinced that the importance of research on SDGs in our region, in particular to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic, the compliance of the Paris agreements, and the sustainable use of our ecosystems. We have to preserve and sustainable use our beautiful biodiversity. Universidad de los Andes is also committed with the education of the new generation of leaders that will face the global environmental crisis. We would like to strengthen the teaching that is related to sustainable development through this network. So we are, again, very pleased, very honored to be part of this network. Thank you so much, Dr. Suazo.
Thank you, Dr. Restrepo, for your contribution. And yes, as I mentioned to you, the network allows faculty members, professors, and not only that, but universities to download the complete curricula that you may have on a specific target. We will be very, very honored and pleased to have the document that you mentioned, as well as also the trainings or curricula that you have developed through Coursera, which is a very important tool for the students. Now is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Lillian Ferrer for the Vicerrectora of Asuntos Internacionales de la Universidad Pontificia Católica de Chile. Dr. Ferrer, thank you for being with us, for your time, and welcome to this event. And I'm going to yield the floor to you.
Thank you so much, Marco. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you so much to the United Nations and UNITAR. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are in the different parts of the world. So good morning, Mr. Miki Uced. Good morning, Mrs. Maria Francesca. Good morning, Marco Suazo. Good morning to all the university authorities, keynote speakers, faculty members, researchers, students, special guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that I greet you today, and I thank you for the opportunity of sharing this moment with you. The best universities in the world have committed to address one of the most complex challenges we have as a planet, sustainable development. This through their creation of new knowledge and educating people, but also by innovating and reducing their own impact on the environment. The United Nations 2030 Agenda has raised the challenge of achieving sustainable development, focusing efforts on the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Also, Pope Francis has called for the promotion of an integral ecology. We need a new ecological approach that transforms the way we inhabit the world, our lifestyles, our relationship with the Earth's resources, and in general, the way we see people and live our life, he says. Pontificia Universidad Católica de Chile, known as UC Chile, is making an important effort with this regard. An example is the publication of the sustainability reports that we started since 2013, now on its 4th version, where we can see the work developed, the opportunities and challenges to consolidate a culture of sustainability within our university community. In 2020, we created the Institute for Sustainable Development, an academic unit that seeks to promote education in sustainability with our students, a goal that is present in their graduation profile, as well as promoting research and contributing to public policies on the matter. Another important milestone was that we became the first Chilean university to commit to carbon neutrality by 2038, the year in which we will celebrate our 150th anniversary. Ahead of the Chile's challenges, we are convinced that collaborative work is essential, especially with universities in the region. That is why we are grateful for having been invited to be part of this university network for sustainable development. An instance we are certain we will be very enriching since it will allow us to share experiences and knowledge, develop innovative ideas and processes, and broaden both our perspective and in our own communities. The challenge is to make a cultural change, not only within our institution, but we must cross national and regional borders. We have the responsibility to educate people who, from their areas of knowledge and a rigorous and committed work, contribute to achieving a more humane, comprehensive, and sustainable development throughout the planet. So thank you very much for this opportunity, and we look forward to strengthen the collaboration that we have in this network. Thank you, Marco.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lillian, for sharing with us. From Santiago, I imagine that you will join us. I know it's winter over there, while we are in the summer here in New York, and this is one of the wonders of the information technology tools. So thank you very much for sharing. As I said at the beginning, the network will depend exactly on your commitment and the information that you download them. In a couple of minutes after we finish this segment, Paula and Chengi will illustrate us how this network will work in a very short presentation. Thank you, Dr. Ferrer, for being with us. Now it's a pleasure to welcome Mr. Clement Sancat from the President of the University of Belize. It's a sister country from us because I am from Honduras. So Professor Sancat, I yield to you.
Good morning, my dear colleagues who are with us. I'm pleased to represent the University of Belize from the Belmopan campus in the country of Belize. Let me say and acknowledge our leading presenters this morning and our hosts from UNITAR, His Excellency, Mr. Marco Suazo, all from UNITAR and UNDESA, all our distinguished rectors from various parts of the Caribbean and Central America and Latin America, all our listeners. I want to thank Mr. Zengi Wang of UNITAR for inviting the University of Belize to be part of this network. It is a tremendous honor and privilege to be within this group. Let me say that Belize is a very small, sometimes not well-known country in Central America. And also it's a member of both CARICOM, that is the Caribbean Regional Integration Movement, as well as SICA, which is the Central American Movement. And to be quite honest, sometimes Belize needs to understand its unique positioning, which gives it the best of all worlds. We are a country that is very diverse in ethnicity and one that has been built on the rich traditions of our indigenous Mayan population. And that population has demonstrated over the years, of thousands of years, their work on how one can build sustainable societies, especially through sustainable agriculture. And I think that kind of cultural tradition has helped Belize and Belizeans to build a more sustainable, developed society and care and protection for the environment. We are a country with an extensive coastal environment, coast that extends from Honduras into Mexico, and pristine coast with rich marine resources. As we have a wonderful terrestrial environment with rich flora and fauna that reflects Central America and some of Latin America. In particular, our national animal is the jaguar, which is prized and which is facing a lot of challenges that the University of Belize is working hard to try to protect. Belize and the university is focused on a number of key areas that can help treat with sustainable development. I do believe that to begin with creating a society that is caring of our natural resources, of our environment, that wants to ensure inclusive development, gender sensitivity, and of course, prosperity for all, it should begin with education at the lowest levels, at the earliest levels. And so the University of Belize is focused on teacher education so that we can impart this education to our young students even before they arrive at the university. I have seen in my work throughout the Caribbean a great deal of sensitivity in Belize among young people with caring and love for the natural environment, as I may not have seen in parts of the Caribbean. A real plus for young Belizean students. We also have programs that treat with agriculture. We are dealing with challenges in agriculture with climate. And as I speak, we are building a climate smart agricultural program that treats with the impacts that we are seeing as I speak in the Caribbean, with hurricanes and then with immense periods of droughts, storms, etc. We also, in Belize, although we are not only agricultural and rural, we are also tourist driven, and we have a program in tourism management that attempts to balance tourism and our natural environment, which is the drawing card for our tourists from all parts of the world. And I encourage you to visit Belize. We also have a program in our natural resources management, which builds capacity for young managers to help manage the marine and the coastal, as well as the terrestrial environment through sound training in science, particularly the natural sciences, and through practical and both theoretical work. We also have, and this is something that I would like to share with all of the world, especially my colleagues in Central America, the Caribbean, and Latin America. 10 years ago, we built an environmental research institute that is focused on research, development, training, and monitoring of our natural environment, both in the barrier reef, in the Keys, and in the terrestrial environment. We have 2 field stations on these Keys, and you're welcome to visit and share with us your own teachings and learnings, and we can share with you what we have learned in the protection of these environments. So there's much that we are doing, but we are a relatively under-resourced country, relatively poor, and we do need help. We do need help to build capacity in all spheres. And I look forward to being a partner in this network that can help the university and Belize with its rich aspirations for the protection of our natural environment, for sustainable development, that we can get this support through a network. We cannot do it alone, whereas our role of higher education is usually highlighted in the 4th SDG, which calls for inclusive, equitable, and quality education. We must address transversely all the goals to ensure we achieve the transformation of our societies. The University of Belize is committed to this, and we look forward to being a member of this very, very important partnership, this important family of universities committed to this goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Sankat, for these inspiring words. It's so happy to see already the possibility to contribute from our own side, from UNITAR to university. And I'm 100% sure that the information and the contents that you will find in the network will be so much of use for your students and for your research. I am 100% sure also that the speaker for the representative universities today has the keynote of collaboration that you has launched on behalf of the University of Belize. So please, Professor, just let us know in which way we can collaborate. We will continue to to see through the network how much we can provide in terms of knowledge, research, and academia to your students in Belize. As a Central American, as a Zika member, I am honored and pleased to have you among us today. Now I'm going to turn the page, and it's a real pleasure and honor to welcome David Smith, Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Coordinator of the Institute for Sustainable Development of the University of West Indies. David, thank you very much for your time, for keeping us always in your mind. And so I'm going to yield to you for your presentation.
Thank you very much, and greetings to all those who are attending. I wanted to say a special greeting to my colleague from Universidad de los Andes, because the very last international meeting that I went to in person was with Universidad de los Andes. We hosted them in a joint meeting in Kingston, Jamaica, where we talked about climate change and global problems and how we would then go ahead and help to manage them. The University of the West Indies, for those who do not know, is a multinational university that is supported by 17 different countries around the Caribbean. And we have campuses, 5 different campuses. There's a campus in Antigua and Barbuda, one in Trinidad and Tobago, one in Barbados, one in Jamaica, and a virtual campus, which is online and serves all our countries. We spend a lot of time being concerned about the science policy interface and how it relates to problems that affect islands. And many of those problems affect the continents as well. So there is a lot of opportunity for exchanging information, exchanging cross information, as well as collaborating on research. And with respect to the Sustainable Development Goals, we are very concerned about moving towards those goals, and particularly the way in which climate, inequality, waste, and biodiversity loss may affect our ability to move forward to achieve those goals. The Global Sustainable Development Report, which was produced by the independent group of scientists back in 2019, points out that the goals are inextricably linked, and that even if there is a single goal that is extremely important to a particular country, it's not necessarily a good idea just to go after that goal, because you will end up with trade-offs with other goals that might fight against you. And so the scientists suggest that it's best to look at all the connections between the goals and then look at the entry points which allow you to pursue the goals in a more coordinated fashion. And these entry points have with human well-being, sustainable and just economies, sustainable food systems, sustainable energy, sustainable urban and peri-urban development, and taking care of the global environmental commons. But to do that, we need a different kind of science. We need to emphasize our multidisciplinary approaches, our transdisciplinary approaches, and our team approaches to solve the problems that are affecting all our countries. This means that we must spend a lot of time understanding the linkages, understanding competing development agendas, and trying to craft solutions to transform our lives and transform our economies in the context we find ourselves. This requires us to move together towards team approaches, which is often a break from the way in which academia have worked in the past. Often in the past, we have been specialists in one particular discipline, and we work and work and work on that discipline. To tackle and to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, to eliminate extreme poverty throughout the world, we have to adopt team approaches. We have to adopt approaches that share information, share data, and share knowledge, and most importantly, make it accessible to everybody. A lot of the knowledge in the world is produced in the more developed countries and is difficult for people, even in universities in the developing countries, to access. We need to change that. And I'm very pleased that this network is launched, and hope that by this network, we will be able to open up knowledge to more and more people and allow for greater access of people, particularly in developing countries, particularly less developed countries, particularly in small island developing states, to knowledge that can help them to achieve those goals. And I'm looking forward to working with all the colleagues. And I hope that one day again, we will have another meeting face to face. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. David, for that kind words. And this is exactly the spirit of the network. We are meeting in this format today because COVID-19, travel restrictions, and things like that. But I hope that one day when things became more normal in the United Nations, all the deans, all the directors, all the rectors or presidents of universities of this network, maybe we will have a gathering in person to see how we can improve, or to see each other's faces and to congratulate ourselves about the success of the network. Everything that we do in UNITAR, and this is my personal experience, I do it not anymore for me. I do it for the institution and for the generations to come. I think we owe the generations to come, to our children's, grandchildren's, the future. And just putting all the efforts and energies that we have in building these possibilities for them is what drives us. So I am very, very keen to the work that the SDG learners today, leaders of tomorrow. So that's something that I will put it in a logo soon, because it's so much important in this little phrase. So David, thank you very much for your contribution and for sharing with us. As I said, also the network itself will transcend if you give the importance it deserves, if you download contents on it, if you are able to put research papers or documents or full master or bachelor degrees in it for the students that will be benefited from them are able to look from the UNICAMP to the University of Belize to the University of Los Andes. So this is the scope of the network for you to also to interact. In order to understand how it works, I will actually give the floor to the creators of this, the consultant of UNITAR, my dear team, Paula and Shengi, to illustrate in a very pragmatic way what we envisage for the network. Paula, Shengi, we are on your hands. One is joining us from Madrid and the other is joining us from Beijing. So ladies, we are in your hands.
Thank you very much, Marco, and thank you very much to all the deans, professors, and to all the members of the universities that have joined us today in this journey that we have been in this journey for more than 1 year already, developing this initiative. So thank you very much to all of you. And right now we will share a presentation. My colleague Genchi will kindly share the screen and we'll show you how this university network for sustainable development will work, the different features that we'll have, and the access that we will give to both faculty and students.
All right, thank you so much, Paula, and same from here. Hello, everyone. Very nice to finally virtually meet you all today. And I'll start sharing my screen and apologize if I need to close my camera again, just for a more stable connection while sharing the screen. And I will start sharing, and I probably need the assistant from Mr. Palayo to able me to share the screen really quick. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So can everybody see my screen right now?
Yes,
okay,
thank
great.
you very much. Thank you. Well, as already said, we are really pleased as well as excited to be here with all of you today, and with my colleague Genchi, will both of us present you the University Network for Sustainable Development. Also, who has recently joined, and let us thank also Camila Gino, who is also part of this team and who has also collaborated with us in this development. We pass to the next slide, Genchi. Thank you very much. Okay, so what is the University Network for Sustainable Development? This network is it will materialize in a digital platform that will connect universities from all over the Latin America and the Caribbean region in order to enhance dissemination of knowledge for students, for the leaders of tomorrow, as already explained. And this will serve as a platform for the democratization of education, and it will support the learning, the exchanging, and the partnering of university members for any type of knowledge-related activity. So if we pass to the next slide, we want to kindly explain you how this was created, the rationale behind it, and its background. The first thing was, of course, the project focus. We believe that universities are crucial players in order to achieve the SDGs and the 2030 agenda. As was already said, the logo is SDG learners today, SDG leaders tomorrow. And of course, we also did some research, and there's great potential in the Latin America and the Caribbean region, both for partnership building, but of course, because of all the initiatives that are conducted in that region, and to create a platform that connects this knowledge, that enhances the impact. We saw great potential there. So after this project focus, we actually went to the data collection and analysis, and we conducted an independent research of all universities of the Latin America and the and Caribbean region. This data collection and analysis had different parameters. These parameters were from academic achievements to sustainability related and SDGs related commitment of universities. After all this data collection, after this analysis, we selected 20 highly committed universities in the Latin America and the Caribbean region, because we want to create a network that indeed enhances collaboration. And that is why we also decided to firstly begin with 20 committed universities. After this, we indeed started with this partnership building, with the outreach and with all the administrative procedures in order to create the network that we have today. And again, thank you very much to all member universities. Finally, and what we will show you briefly, my colleague Jenchi will actually, we created with all the concepts developed and designed, we created and materialized all these ideas in a digital platform that faculty members and that their students will be able to access. So now if we pass to the next slide. Hi, Jenchi. Okay, well, I believe we cannot see the next slide, but I can definitely share my own screen if that will help you, Jenchi, if your connection is not stable. Can you hear me, Jenchi? Okay, I will now share my screen. Thank you very much for your kind support, Jenchi. I know that these connectivity issues happen from time to time. So I will now continue with this presentation and I will share the screen. Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Well, the network. What is the main objective, the vision of this University Network for Sustainable Development is to promote education, to democratize education and the implementation of the SDGs among the member universities in the Latin America and the Caribbean region. And we will do this by facilitating knowledge, expertise, resources, and perspectives on sustainability. In order to do so, we have identified 5 main objectives for this network. First one, innovation. We want to provide universities in this Latin American and the Caribbean region an SDG focus, but also user-friendly and accessible IT tool for them to enhance academic cooperation. Also learning, of course, that is why we will give access to UNITAR's material to provide the students of the member universities with these high quality and reliable products around sustainability. Also, third objective, collaboration. We want universities, and we will actually give a platform for universities to co-create about both courses, events, but also research, and to share insights. And this actually is linked to the next objective, sharing. As already explained, kindly explained by Ambassador Marco, this platform will give an option for you to share already existing learning materials, e-learning courses, as well as research, as well as events that will occur that you want to invite to the broad network community. And of course, after this pandemic, we all know that one thing has been enhanced, that is international connections through internet, through these IT tools that let us have real interactions to happen as well. And that is why we want to give you this regional centered network for these regional interactions to happen. Next slide, thank you very much. And now let's present the universities. We were from the 20 universities that we reached, we right now have 16 universities and we are still in contact with the other 4. And they are from 11 different countries and they all shown a remarkable academic achievements as well as a commitment to SDGs. And with that, we actually are really happy to share that we will reach almost 500,000 students throughout the Latin America and the Caribbean region. And now my colleague will get into the digital platform and deepen into the features of this. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. So apologize for the bad connections. And I will start with the digital tools that we developed for this network. So first part, I will introduce the website features and the platform features we have developed. And the next part, after I introduced everything, I will start to give you a live orientation to show you like how do we find those public websites and how do we use the internal platform for the member university and the students. So first of all, for the website features, as you can see, we have stated there are public websites, which it's held under the UNITAR New York office webpage. And with that public website, you can search by Google or any other searching engines. And with this, you will have the network introductions and you will see the list, which is a database of all the member universities and their detailed information. And another feature is actually an internal platform, which we have created 2 platforms to promote the knowledge sharing and creation between students and among the faculty members. And there are 2 different access, which are one is for faculty members only, and another one is for students. And let's get into the details. So first of all, as you may question about like, how do we find the University Network for Sustainable Development page? How do we find those? So it's very obvious, like we stated the website address here. So you firstly need to go to the unitar.org/NY, which is New York office webpage. And when you open this webpage, you will see first of all, a paragraph introducing about the New York office. And at the second paragraph, you will see there is a hyperlink, which will direct you directly to the network page of the public websites. And also at the same time, we have a big icon under the paragraphs, which you can also click it and it will direct you to the University Network webpage. And this is the public websites. And this is the more detailed information about the public website. What happens after you click those links on the UNITAR New York webpage. So first of all, you will see the main page of the University Network for Sustainable Development. As you can see here, we have the introductions about the network. And at the same time, it includes a database and the list of the universities. And while searching the university, we also created different filters, which will help you to research. So for example, you can filter by different SDG goals and SDG expertise of the universities. For example, you can choose no poverty or zero hunger to see like which universities are more focused on these SDGs. Also, you can filter the location country and at the same time filter whether they have financial aid available for sustainable development related projects or programs. And after you search the university, you will get into the university profile page, which you will find more information about each university. So for example, at this screenshot, you can see we give the location of the university with a map. And at the same time showing their SDG focus and also if they have financial aid available at the same time. And moreover, there are more detailed introductions about the schools and you will find the links to reach the schools. And this is all about the public website. And here we are moving to the internal platform for the faculty members and the students only. So first of all, we created like 2 different login options, which is for students access and another one is for faculty access. So like faculty and students, they can reach to different materials and content based on the different needs and the interest. And for the faculty portal, so it was connected with the UNITAR learning platform, and faculty members will have the opportunity to access this portal to share and upload or download the materials from not only from the UNITAR, but also from other member universities. And at the same time, you'll get the opportunity to share the events, and at the same time call for proposals or partnerships, and create like discussion topics within the discussion forum we've established. And also for more specific to the student portal, basically the student portal will have almost the same content as the faculty shared. So which, for example, like when the faculty shared the platform, share the content on the platform, students will also see the same materials, but they will have limited access to edit and doing the doing the edits on the sharing materials. So this is a brief introduction about the features and tools of our internal platform and the public website. And next, I will give you a very live orientation about from how to find the website and how to use the internal platform. So let's go to the UNITAR New York website first. So I have already opened this web page. As you can see, here is the website address. And then when you see this hyperlink, we just directly clicked it. Then we'll see the University Network for Sustainable Development page. And here you will see the introduction, and you can also email to this email address to secure your place and join the University Network for other universities who will be interested in this initiative. And as I introduced, there are filters, different filters such as SDG focus, location country, and the scholarship or financial availability. And on the right side of this page, you can also find universities from this map, just to give you a better overview about the geographic distribution of our universities. And once we clicked into a university, you will get a more detailed profile for this university, as I also introduced before. You will see the map, the link, the introduction, SDG focused. So here are the public website features. And as said, there are internal platform, so which you will get the access from this webpage as well. So you directly go through the link. So we go to the network faculty portal first. Just give a second while it's loading. Okay, here we go. So this is the network faculty portal, just for faculty members only. And this is, as I said, it's linked to the UNITAR learning platform. So you can see, so we have a short introduction about the functions within this platform. And the first section is about the UNITAR knowledge product, which you can get all the information and links through this document here. And one thing to notice that like when you want to access to the different UNITAR e-learning courses, you and your university need to make a request to the UNITAR team for adding you to the specific course. And the UNITAR team will definitely send out the information to the universities after. And the next section is the university knowledge products. So which is for university members to upload, share, and download their academic programs or curriculums or some courses and related learning materials, or even seminars or webinars and any kind of resources. So I'll give you an example on how to using this. So for example, we click courses and learning materials. So we'll see we have all the instructions on how to using this. So basically for you to upload materials, you have two options. So first of all, you can upload the materials based on the SDGs, based on, you can identify like how they are fitting to different categories by 17 different SDGs. And we totally understand there are some curriculums or academics or courses, they have a like broad coverage, cover the whole sustainable development or like more like sustainability topics. And we also have the options for you to upload other courses and learning materials for a broader coverage. And this is the university knowledge products section. And here is the events for university to share their previous or the upcoming events related to the sustainable development. And you can also access here through the links. The next section is about the call for proposals and the partnerships, which you can simply click here and create the topic and invite the other universities to join you. See, we all have the instructions, so don't worry once you start to using this platform, we have all the instructions for you. And the next part is the discussion forum, which we created 2 features for this discussion forum. One is for faculty portal discussion forum. It's only for faculty members to exchange their ideas or proposals and or even other experiences or good practices. And another one is actually linked to the students portal, which is a space for both students and faculty members to exchange ideas and have the dialogues together. So these are the discussion forum feature.
Hi, Genchi, I believe we cannot hear you anymore. Well, as we cannot hear Genchi anymore, let me continue with this explanation. And of course, this is the faculty portal and all the features that you will find as faculty members of the university network. Then we have exactly a similar portal also for students that if Genchi can go to that one, they will also access the Unitar knowledge products that Unitar will provide all of you. And of course, we invite you to research them and to join these courses. Also, all the materials that the faculty members will upload in these academic programs, courses, and seminars options will be available and automatically uploaded in this students portal. So students can start to be the SDG learners to become the SDG leaders of tomorrow. Finally, also, they will be able to access all the events that Unitar will provide you, as well as the events. Please, Genchi, if you could go a bit down. Thank you very much. As well as the events that university members that want to share with the broad network community to start co-creating, sharing, and connecting among each other. And finally, they also have the option of discussing together different sustainability-related topics, share readings, videos, or interesting information around this, as well as share information and discussions with the faculty members with the broad network community in case there are questions on courses or any discussion that may be of interest. So these would be the 2 portals, the one of the faculty and the one of students of these member universities. And we hope this platform will support the democratization of education and strengthen partnerships in the Latin America and the Caribbean region. And again, thank you very much to the Unitar team. Thank you very much to the member universities. And yes, with this, I believe that our presentation is over. And we are really pleased to be able to launch this initiative with all of you today.
Thank you very much, Paula and Chengi. And I am really pleased that we managed to see all the contents in a broad manner of the network. I am really amazed also of what information technology offers us, because we have Chengi from Beijing and we have Paula for Madrid, and we managed to listen and to hear and to see all the work that they develop, as well as we have a connection from Santiago to Belize through this information tool. So I am very, very pleased with the results. I don't know if the professors or members of universities have any questions. If so, please let us know. As I said, we are going to be full-fledged behind this initiative. You can count with us. And the practice and the use of the network is going to indicate to us what tools or what phases of the network should be enhanced. So I will leave a couple of minutes for this exchange if you agree. And thank you, Paula. Thank you, Chengi. Thank you, Camila, for joining us. Camila was or is part of the team that developed this tool. And so, dear professors, rectors, or deans, do you have any question? Do you understood more or less what is the scope of the network and what we are trying to achieve? Putting all just together. When I said the issue of the globalization in this case, I think that this subregionalization of the common goals of the Sustainable Development Goals for Latin America and joint efforts among ourselves will be very, very productive. We don't want it to have a student of lesser God. We would like to have equal opportunities for everybody. And I think while you're sharing all the knowledge, would you use the faculty portal and you download your research, your paper and things like that, allowing the students to see it, that would be the great benefit. We will start immediately. The documents that you have there, all of them have hyperlinks. As you know, UNITAR is a nonprofit, is to serve member states through diplomatic career. So whatever content is there, except for the master programs that has been developed in association with the university, may have certain cost for the students. All the rest is absolutely free. As I said, it's talkable webinars, workshops, or training materials, reports, UN documents. There are a lot of information available. There are already pre-recorded training sessions of 1 day, half a day for the students that they wanted to enhance, I don't know, a presentation or a curricula or a thesis before graduating. So the other part that Paula and Chengi were mentioning to you is that join us through our email. We will be very happy to answer any other queries or taking into account any other suggestions that you may have. I know that universities are the universe per se. You create everything, and you are, as I said, the engines of the future. That's the reality. I am a product of an educated process in the University of Honduras, and then I went to Italy to do postgraduate studies, and here I am trying to make this work through education. So I don't know if you have any question or comments, Professor. I am very happy to hear you, and I open the floor. None? Okay, I don't see any comments. I see we keep it a sustainable base of participants. I will at this point express my deepest gratitude to all of you for joining us. The portal is already open. Is that correct, Paula?
Exactly. Right now, I will actually share again the public space of this platform where you can find relevant information of the network as well as the members. And we will also provide the login options to the faculty members.
Thank you very much. We also have a small brochure, a small package that will be sending to all of you about this the network, the scope at the universities. Besides that will be electronically, and anything else that we can do, just let us know. we will very happy to support and to keep in touch with you. I will really from the bottom of my heart say thank you to Paula, Camila, and Shengi and the UNITAR team for such a work in putting all this together. And I really hope this will be beneficial for all of you. We created this for you. Thank you very much. And we were going to reconvene about 12:30 Eastern time. We're going to launch an e-learning course about SDGs and climate change. Those who will be able to join us, you are welcome. Otherwise, I say hello from New York, and we keep in touch with all of you. Dr. Lillian, Professor Clemens, Antonio Jose de Almeida, President David, and our dear team of UNDESA, and Ayara and Lota. Thank you very much, and we'll see you at noontime. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks
you,
to
Paula.
you.
Thank you, Camila. Thank you, Chengi.
Thank you.